All right, everyone. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. So we'll go slowly while waiting for friends to join. The topic that we are going to cover today is in regards to entrepreneurship and innovation. And for today's topic, we are going to also look into some country level analysis of entrepreneurship activities and also innovation agenda, and see how and what the data that we have and what kind of insights can we gather from the data that has been published by Global Entrepreneurship Monitor publication. Yeah. So all right. Now, who comes to mind when I mention the word entrepreneur? So, entrepreneurship is not a new term. It is something that it is common to everyone. And when we mention the word entrepreneurship or entrepreneurs, we would imagine someone who owns a company and someone who perhaps already billionaire or millionaire, and also someone who are very successful. Okay, those are the characteristics or the picture that comes to mind when we would mention the word entrepreneur. Now, 10 years back, 15 years back, in countries, in developing countries, entrepreneurship is not really a booming agenda until the government realized that the only way that we can overcome the problem of poverty, especially among the bottom of the pyramid or the bottom billions, is actually through entrepreneurial activities. So when I ask these questions to friends or to students in the lecture, normally these are the names that appear as successful entrepreneurs. So I suppose you all know who they are, and these are very common or renowned people that we are aware of. So we have, of course, Elon Musk, we have Mark Zuckerberg, we have Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and we also have Bill Gates. Obviously, this is a very well-known figure to all of us. And we may also forget that this guy is a very successful entrepreneur. All right, until he becomes president of the United States, and a bit unpopular aftermath. Now, what I'm trying to share with all of you today, even though when we mention the word entrepreneurship, we have always had this idea that only those who start a new venture or those who run big companies are really entrepreneurs, or who own companies are entrepreneurs. But really, entrepreneurial mindset are things that it is most important to us all. It applies across the board, be it entrepreneurs, business owners, small business owners, new ventures, startup, or even those who work in a company. Because entrepreneurial mindset are characteristics that allow us to move forward and be successful in any arena that we are in, right? So we do not necessarily need to be an entrepreneur to have an entrepreneurial mindset, because entrepreneurial mindset can be developed. It is often associated with growth mentality or growth mindset, and that's what makes people grow and move in any kind of venture or in any kind of work that they are exploring. So here is what we have to be cognizant of. Yeah, we know there's change. We have been deliberating on the exponential change that we experience nowadays. How the VUCA world has changed the total landscape of the industry across sectors and across any industry landscape or environment that we are in. So as normal human being, it is always difficult for us to face changes, and it's something that is not easy to deal with. However, with entrepreneurial mindset, we are able to move forward and to embrace and to adapt to this new way of doing things in the current world. Okay, so the common word, as I mentioned last week, right? The common word that you will be hearing often is adaptability, resilience, flexibility, agile, yeah, and also risk taking, being proactive, being innovative, and creative. So, all of these characteristics are important to build the right mindset for us to move forward and also for us to weather the change that we experience nowadays, right? So the secret of change is to focus all our energy not on fighting the old. Okay, there are some conventional way of doing things that are still applicable. Common sense, right? If you want to do business, number one thing that we have to remember is, as mentioned by most entrepreneurs, is to be nice. That is all understanding, and that is traditional way of running a business. If you are nice, because 100% of people of those who will deal with you in your organization are people. So be nice is the old way, but in the face of the changes in the uncertain world, we have to maintain to be nice. Communication, remember, collaboration, cooperation. Those are things that is still relevant until now. But on top of that, we have to also be able to build new things, okay, to change the status quo and to embrace new way of doing business. And I will share with you the video that I've captured earlier on, that I think most important to be shared, and also for us to understand the importance of the old way of doing things, especially the values and also the work ethics, and then adapt it or couple it with the new way forward, which is to be more agile, adaptable, or perhaps to the extent of learning new sharp skills. All right. So, in a nutshell, because I don't think we should elaborate on entrepreneurship definition too long, I'm sure you all aware, but I think it is worth sharing with you the demarcation between inventor, entrepreneur, promoter, manager, and administrator. Now, not all those who invent new products or new processes or new services are called entrepreneur. Okay, some people are very good at invention, but they don't know how to transmute that invention into profitable outcome, right? They are not able, or they don't have the right business acumen to change whatever invention that they have into something profitable or into value creation. So, in that manner, if one is an inventor just, they perhaps have high level of creativity and high level of innovativeness or innovation ability. However, when it comes to business know-how and business acumen or ability to network, collaborate, to create strategic partnership, right? And also to form an alliance, and even general management skill like planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, if they have very low skill in those areas, they would only remain inventor, right? They may not be able to create something profitable out of their invention. Now, what about promoter? Promoter is just reiterating what has been said in terms of the value and in terms of the way they do things. Okay, they keep on repeating the same routine. So they don't create things, they just basically follow the standard operating procedure and reiterating the same messages that has been delivered. So in terms of creativity and innovation, they are probably very low. Also in terms of business know-how, business acumen, and other form of skills and traits that requires by entrepreneurs. Yeah. Now let's look at the other quadrant, the bottom left on your side, right on my side, the bottom right quadrant, manager and administrator. Now, manager normally make sure that you know how to plan, you know how to organize, you know how to lead your people, and you also know how to monitor and also control the performance, right? And they normally are well equipped with the management skill. They know they have the ability to process information related to business know-how. They are able to collaborate. They know how to start venturing into a strategic alliance or create partnership. Nevertheless, if these managers lack of creativity and innovation, perhaps they follow the same old way of doing business or repeating the status quo, they will remain forever as manager or administrator alone. Now, if we want to be at the top highest quadrant, we want to be an entrepreneur, as I mentioned earlier. Entrepreneur does not necessarily mean the one who run a business, but you can also be entrepreneurial or enterprising in the organizations that you are currently working in. And if you want to be that kind of person in an organization, you need to be able to have creativity and innovation, and also to have the ability of management skill, right? Using business know-how and also ability to network and form alliances. So ultimately, if many employers, right, they want to have talents who are entrepreneurial, uh, with entrepreneurial skill and have entrepreneurial mindset. Okay. And why are we talking about entrepreneurship and innovation, regardless of whatever organizations that you are in or whatever sector that you are currently engaged into? We are talking about entrepreneurship and innovation because of these four main changes in the environment. The globalization, right? We are talking about how things move very fast globally. One changes in one region can immediately change or have direct or indirect impact on the other region, right? Globalization has been an important factor to encourage or to enable us and also to um, make us embrace entrepreneurship and innovation. Now, technological change goes without saying. A lot of disruptive innovation, a lot of businesses has to cease operation because of disruptive innovation by newcomers, right? And how can they do that? They do that through taking advantage or leveraging on technological change. Okay, I will share also with you later on what we call unicorn companies. And one of the criteria of the unicorn companies, how they can be successful in just a short period of time, is because the advantage of technological advancement. Now, third, importance of knowledge and ideas. We have covered this earlier on too when we talk about data. The importance of data and how data can be transmuted into information to provide insights on how we can strategize for our business. And those are knowledge and ideas. And if you read through the slides that I've shared with you, you will quickly notice that there's abundance of data that we can leverage on when it comes to making decision. It may not necessarily that we have to conduct a primary research on our own, or we have to go to the field and collect data. Not necessarily, right? Because some information are readily available and provided by consultants or publishing companies. And of course, some will require you to pay certain amount of subscription fees or the cost of subscribing to their data, right? And because of this new way of transaction, economic activities, new transaction involving data, it allows us to make more important and significant changes to the way we run our business, and that entails entrepreneurship and also innovation elements. And finally, collaboration across organizational borders. So collaboration is something that we have been talking about quite some time. And we know that the ability of an organization to form strategic collaboration or impactful collaboration will have important implications to the bottom line of the company, right? Dollars and cents. And in order to do that, it requires them to embrace also entrepreneurship and innovation. So let's move on and see what we have here. So, in short, when you talk about entrepreneurship, as I mentioned earlier, it cut across industry, it cut across sectors, and also it can be applicable in any context. If you are a student, you can be an entrepreneurial student. If you are a manager, you can be an entrepreneurial manager. Of course, if you run a startup or if you run your own business, you automatically can be associated to an entrepreneurial person because you take risks, you innovate, you are proactive in transmuting or seizing the opportunities into outcome, profitable outcome. So all those elements that you can see in entrepreneurs will cover these three important elements. And why do we always associate entrepreneurship with the business owner or with those who start a new firm? Because in order to start a new firm, you need to have the element of innovativeness. What new things that you want to introduce to the market? How can you create value to the potential consumers, right? It's always about value creation. Now, if you want to create value, don't you think we need a lot of innovativeness with us, right? New ideas, new processes, new products, new services, all those require ability to innovate, to solve problems, or to fill in the gap in the market, right? Or to seize the opportunities by the changes in the market trend, perhaps. And of course, you also need to be proactive because working in the fast world like we are in now, you have no choice but to act upon very quickly to the opportunities that you recognize. Because the longer you wait, the lesser chances that you will have to be successful. Because things move fast, people other elsewhere can take advantage of the opportunity that they discover, and they can capitalize on the opportunity that they recognize in the market if you take longer time to seize the opportunities and translate that into a profitable outcome, right? So three things that require to be an entrepreneurial person in any field that you are in: being innovative, being proactive, and being risk taker. So those are the common ones. Of course, we have other elements that has been associated with entrepreneurship as well. Across the literature, scholars have agreed that these three are the most significant and crucial ones. Now, let's look at this video. Very interesting on how Harvard Business School have conducted a study on the way to do business or the way to be successful entrepreneurs in 21st centuries, and listen to the advice very carefully.
At the Harvard Business School, they came to this conclusion a few years ago that in the 21st century, all selling would be relationship selling. All success in business will be based on relationships. Your very best customers, I can tell you, are the people that you like and the ones who like you. 85% of your recommendations and referrals will come from people who like you and people who feel good about you. So focus on the relationship and the sale will take care of itself.
Okay, simple message to all of us. The world that we are living now, as mentioned by Harvard Business School in their study, is the world of relationship. So this augurs well with what has been said earlier on by the marketing guru Philip Kotler, right? when he said that the world we are living now is no longer the world of competition, but the world of collaboration. So when we talk about relationship, it is more towards collaboration, cooperation, networking, alliances, and making sure that people are comfortable dealing with us. So it is not just about your partner in the industry, it is also important to embrace that relationship, collaboration, and also alliances with your consumers as well. And if you want to be successful in the business in this era, the key word is polish your people skill, polish your ability to form good, impactful relationship. And it is very crucial now, especially in the era where you have abundance of information and knowledge and ideas spread everywhere in the mass media, in the internet, across the board. So with alliance, with strategic partnership, with relationship, you will be able to share and disseminate the information that would be perhaps valuable to your organization more easily and also faster and quicker than doing it alone. Yeah. And there's another
At the Harvard Business School.
There's another message that I think worth sharing with all of you, and this does not just go to any company or any entrepreneurial firms. It is also important for us to embrace this new way that to bring magic to our organization. Okay, regardless of whatever organizations that we are in. So let's listen to the advice by the Vice President of Disney Corporation, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, he's the vice president, and he is known by the name of Lee. So let's look at what
I guarantee you, Disney, I don't care where Disney, Disney Portugal, Disney Spain, Disney Orlando, every day, the culture there is to figure out how to do it better, a new way. And the reason in your companies sometimes you don't do it better is because you don't spend time thinking about how you could do it better. And you don't spend time asking all your employees, what could we do better around here? Because they know, by the way, and they're not telling you because they don't trust you. Look for the better way every day. Break the mold. Don't do it the way you've always done it. You keep doing it all the way you've always done it, you're going to be in big trouble in a few years. The world is changing so fast, you're going to really get screwed. It is incredible. And the way you get better is you get your people trusting you, and you create an environment and a culture where they want to help you because you're helping them. And all of a sudden they start telling you how to do better, how to do that a little better, how to do this a little better. And then every day we do a little better. And every year we do a little better. And next thing you know, you got a big reputation of, wow, that place is always on top of their game. The only way you're going to get better, you got to really talk to your customers and you got to talk to your employees. And they will help you, and it's for free. Once they trust you, they'll tell you the truth. When they tell you the truth, you can make the right decisions.
Okay, so if you can grasp the gist of the message delivered by the Vice President, it is still about relationship, collaboration, communication. The importance of establishing relationship to the extent of you can create or you can already encourage trustworthiness and also you can embed element of trust in your company. Did anyone has any question? I heard someone. No, yeah? All right. So what is important for us to look into now when we already know why entrepreneurship and innovation is very important in today's world, and how do we form a successful venture or business by establishing good relationship and also establishing trust, collaboration, cooperation, and communication. So let's look into the data that has been published by Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. I use this data a lot when I conduct my study in entrepreneurship, and they have vast information, global information from the various parts of the world in regards to entrepreneurial activities in various regions. So why this report is important? It provides a lot of insights into which country is better if you want to start venturing into global businesses. So they provide a very important or significant overview and insights into the policy, the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the various parts of the world in the region. Yeah. So let's look into what we have here. This is the report that they have conducted. So is this video is just a summary of one of the index that they have developed to look into the readiness for entrepreneurship in various region. And it has been reported in a very quite a thick report where you can download it. I've downloaded it for you. I'll share on e-learning platform later. Let's look at this report.
What makes a city or region attractive to entrepreneurs? Which factors draw creative entrepreneurs to a city or region or any entrepreneurial ecosystem? Collaborate with Global Entrepreneurship Monitor to find answers to these questions in cities and regions that are of importance to you. Our Ecosystem Index, also known as ESI, is a diagnostic tool that provides frameworks and data to analyze just about any subnational ecosystem.
Hannover is not one of the main or the hottest cities of entrepreneurship in Germany. However, they have ambitious local policymakers that want to increase the number of entrepreneurs in that very region. And for these and some other reasons, it was a good idea to establish the first pilot of ESI in Germany within the city of Hannover. The feedback we received was quite positive.
Using the ESI tool, stakeholders can visualize the many indicators that make up the quality of an entrepreneurial ecosystem. This benefits local government officials, policymakers, business association leaders, and researchers, among others.
In Spain, we measured two ecosystems, Madrid and Catalonia. All the agents implied in developing an ecosystem can design better measures and policies and actions to get better competition compared to other ecosystems.
It takes an ecosystem, a regional ecosystem, to actually help entrepreneurs grow into maturity.
The tool is based on the solid theoretical model of entrepreneurial ecosystems developed in 2015 by distinguished professor of entrepreneurship, Eric Stamm.
All of our experts at GEM in entrepreneurship point to entrepreneurship as being primarily a local phenomenon. For this reason, we have developed the diagnostic tool that will allow us to assess entrepreneurship on a local, regional level. So contact us if you're interested in hearing more.
Okay, so the full report is available online if you want to see how they provide or how they establish the diagnostic tool to measure entrepreneurship in various regions. And it's also interesting to see there's a lot of countries that has been included in their report, global entrepreneurship monitoring, but sadly couldn't see Malaysia in the report for some reason. And I saw Egypt and a few other countries. Now, based on the recently published Global Entrepreneurship Monitor report, it says that the ease of running a business or the entrepreneurial activities index depend heavily on the local or national entrepreneurial ecosystem. So whatever that is provided by the government or local authorities related to the local context are the ones that will entice people from outside to come and establish their companies and also to start a new venture. So if the ecosystem are right, or if the entrepreneurial ecosystem is perhaps suitable for them to start a new venture, then there will be higher chances of new entrepreneurial activities to be to be built in that particular region or local context. Now, the questions that we ask when we look at the report is this: what makes a city or a region attractive to entrepreneurs? There's a lot of data that has been provided in regards to what makes a city or a region attractive. Now, maybe what is more important for us to understand now, there may be some unique features relevant to each context or each local context that spur entrepreneurship agenda, or that encourage small business to start venturing or to start mushrooming in that particular area. So the question is, what actually attracts these people to start new venture there? Which factors draw creative entrepreneurs to a city or to any entrepreneurial ecosystem? What are the important factors? If you look at UAE, right? Because it appears to be the 5 best economies in which, if you want to start a business, so they have insights provided in regards to the entrepreneurial ecosystem in UAE. So you might want to dwell further into the data and see whether it is right and it is timely for you to start venturing into a global branch or maybe start a new business in UAE. Because according to the report, it says that these are among the economies that it is best for you if you have intention to start a venture. Now, that is the raw information that we can get from this figure. There are a lot more information that you need to gather, right? You need to identify if you really want to have the right insights into making the data-driven information. Number one, yes, maybe the ecosystem is right, but what type of business that is right for the ecosystem provided by each countries, right? So can we know that? We have to dig for more information and dwell further into the data that has been provided by various parties. The key is, if you don't want to do your primary data collection or you don't want to do your primary interview with partners in other regions, can leverage on the data that has been provided with caution. Okay, there's always that inquiry mindset that you have to build in with caution. Try to look into more or comparable data that can give, maybe perhaps that can confirm what has been said in the report, or what can give you more insights into understanding the context that you attempt to venture into. Number three, what gives them the confidence that they can build successful, value-adding and profitable companies in a nurturing context? What are the factors that can help them to, that give them more confidence? Perhaps in terms of the policy, the law, it is easier to start a new business in this company because the policy facilitate new venture creation, right? Because the law states that they welcome startups with certain level of leniency in terms of tax. Yeah, so those are the factors that can be very enticing for new companies or new startup to venture into a business in all these 5 regions. Now you can get this report more if you Google Global Entrepreneurship Monitoring Expert Survey 2022. So we look into this later, yeah. So let's move on. And there's another report that talks about entrepreneurial ecosystem quality. Okay. If you are interested in entrepreneurship or if you're interested in innovation, you will quickly notice that there's so many reports that has been published by a reliable publisher. That is what I meant by the era of knowledge and data, yeah, the era of knowledge and ideas. There's so many reports that have been done. And for this global entrepreneurship monitoring, they have interviewed 175,000 people, right? So imagine how large is their sample. And better, we want that kind of sample, especially when we are talking about more than 100 countries where we want to collect data from. So here is the framework that they look into. So what they look into basically to understand entrepreneurship activities and also ecosystem is by evaluating the environment. So if you can relate to what we discussed earlier on, when we talk about internal and external environment, macro and micro environment. So these are the macro environment that they have collected data for you. Okay, they look at the social, cultural, policy, economic context of each and every country, including Middle East countries. There's so many participating countries, and I couldn't find in the latest report Malaysia. I don't know why, but it is such a pity because that will make it difficult for me to conduct more research on entrepreneurship. You explain what is required for us again. I lost connection. Right, full report. No, 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 not. I didn't talk about it yet. So we'll discuss on the slides first, and then I'll repeat again what we need to do later. Yeah. So number one is we look at pastel, or we look at the macro environment. Okay, social, cultural, political, economic context, and how all this pastel or V environment affect entrepreneurial output. Okay, affect the creation of job, affect also providing new value added to the economy, to the GDP, and most importantly, when we look at entrepreneurship activities, we relate it to job creation, employment, enhance economic growth, right? And also improve the social economic well-being of the community. Okay, and apart from looking at the macro level, we also try to understand the attributes of people in that particular country. When I mentioned we, it's actually GEM, okay, Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. They also try to understand the perception of people in every countries in regards to venturing into entrepreneurship, because if the perception is low, it means they are not that innovative, they are not that proactive, and also they not take too much risk by venturing into new startup or new business. All right, and they also explore various entrepreneurial activities by phase. Yeah, phase one is nascent entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs who are about to venture into new business, and then they also see the new established organization in their perhaps 1 to 3 years of venturing into a startup, and they also explore the established businesses and see how they behave, how established business behave. And not just that, they also see, or they also gather information pertaining to business exit. Now, why all this information important, right? And this information have been widely used by people who want to venture abroad. If there are so many business exit means cease operation, right? Close door, close operation, shut down. If the rate is so high, the indication is the place that you want to venture into perhaps is a bit risky, because many small firms or new firms cannot sustain their operation. Okay, so based on the data, you can get a lot of information to help you or to guide you in making decision. And they also look at the impact of the entrepreneurial venture. Are they venturing into low growth oriented kind of organizations, or kind of new venture is just involving in small trading, small trading of the existing product. So slow growth or low growth. But if you're talking about high growth kind of startup or venture, we are talking about those who explore new potentials, more innovative in that manner, and also have high potential to expand their market share. All right. And they also look at market scope, and also they look at the total early stage of startup in activities. They also look at established new venture, establish business ownership, and they also look at the entrepreneurial employee activity. So you can have a lot of important data based on all these key variables to guide readers or to guide those who are interested to venture into new startup, especially those who wish to explore the international market, right? Now, moving on, what kind of data that they gather? You, as people who want to leverage on data, right? You have to have this inquiry mindset. Yes, they have given you the outcome of their analysis, but you need to also look at what are the parameters used. What are the data that has been used to collect information that eventually being translated into all these nice data visualization and also infographics, right? So to be transparent and also to make sure that their data is reliable and can gain confidence from the readers, they provide what we call entrepreneurial framework conditions. So they have given us all the parameters used to extract information pertaining to entrepreneurial ecosystem. One of the important data that they have gathered is entrepreneurial finance. Very important. So we want to know whether in the country that we are going to venture into our new kind of establishment or startup, does the country provide interesting support mechanism for finance? Okay, the availability of financial resources is very important, especially when you talk about small enterprises. You want to also look at the government support and government policies. Very important because not all government are very forthcoming in terms of entrepreneurial venture. So we have to look into that. Government policies, taxes and bureaucracy. What kind of red tape and bureaucracy or tax regulation involved in the country? Some countries apply very flexible and also very what do you call that lenient kind of tax regulation to encourage small startup. They can be, for instance, free from tax for at least 3 to 4 years or until they reach to a certain level of revenue or sales, right? So those kind of information has been captured by this report. Government entrepreneurship program, has there been any assistance provided to grow SMEs or startup? Entrepreneurial education, all these are extra information provided. R&D, very important because we are talking about making improvement and also changes all the time. So we require some kind of support in terms of R&D, legal infrastructure, commercial structure, market dynamics. Okay, market dynamics, the change in the market. Is it volatile? Is it hostile? Or is it a bit more benign? Or is it growing at steady rate? If market is so dynamic in the sense that it is so hostile that it may hit or may directly impact our business in a short run, then it may not be that enticing for us to start a venture in that particular country, right? Internal market burdens and entry regulations, how fussy the regulation is. If it is a bit more lenient and a bit more simple, then the country can be rated highly in terms of ease of doing business. If it infrastructure, culture, and norms, all these factors need to be taken into consideration. Right. Now, if you really look into all this information, what does these parameters tell you? Okay, the parameters basically tells you that the data collected from this particular organization is related to the macro environment of a country. Now, what about macro environment? They focus specifically on whether it is easy to start a new venture creation in that particular country. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. Of course, data is always available. Of course, it helps you to gain insights from the data. What you need to do is to do a bit of investigation, okay? Because you eventually you want a very clean data that suit your purpose. You want data that can help you to make the right decision, okay? And when you dwell further, you look at the parameters, okay? The questions being asked and also the where this information is being collected, right? Because we want to build confidence in the data that we see, and it is also important to have confidence in the data because the conclusion that we make based on the data will have tremendous effect to the way we do things in the organization, right? So more information. This is quite easy to digest, right? So for me, in terms of the visualization, I would say that this kind of visualization is easy to digest and we are able to comprehend it very easily. So if you look at the range of countries that they have already conducted studies here, a lot, right? If I'm not mistaken, we have more than 100 data, basically, more than 100 countries, but they have reported only certain numbers here in regards to the digital technology adoption and also how they invest, okay, whether they invest in digital technology to sell or to trade their products or services. What this information tells us is basically in terms of running business in the digital era. If you want to invest in digital info or infrastructure, you need to look at the country. Countries with high level of digital technologies would require you to invest more in data info and infra, okay? Because the people, it's already a norm or it has been embedded in their culture to conduct business digitally. So for countries with a lower range of digital adoption, you may be able to invest a bit, but at a steady rate, and you grow a bit more organically in that manner. Yeah. Also, in regards to environmental impact, so you need to also understand this data. Why this kind of data is very important? Because it tells you about ESG, a bit on environmental, social, and governance element or SDG element. If a particular country score very highly in its survey, then you have to be or you have to strategize better when you want to sell your product or services to that particular country. You need to understand the environmental rules and regulation because they basically focus more attention to environmental factors. Okay. Now, having said that, if you look at the data, don't you think the data is a bit not questionable? Don't you think that you need to dwell further? Because if you look at countries, yeah, from Europe countries and also Northern Europe and more developed countries, right? Apparently, it shows that the environmental the consideration on environmental implication is a bit low. Okay, don't you see I mean you will derive that kind of conclusion, right? So if you look at countries towards your right hand side, the percentage is a bit low. Now what kind of conclusion can we derive from this? There's two things. If you ask me, I'll probably think about two things. Number one, is the data correct? Because as far as I'm concerned, from my other readings, countries, more developed countries, are normally focus or pay attention more to environmental implication. One. Or perhaps, number two, they have already embraced environmental elements in their business. So in terms of considering to put more effort on environmental implications may not be that high because it's already there from the onset. Okay, so with these kind of questions in mind, if you really want to gain the right insights, you have to do a bit more research and investigation. How can this data provided in the report useful for you, and what kind of findings that the data try to provide? Which one is the right or the right conclusions or justification? Okay, so that is an example that I wish to share. Now, this is another important thing that I think you should also look into: exit. Okay. Now, exit can be that there are two things about exit. Yeah. One, it can be good because if you exit from startup, possibly you have graduated as a small business. You are ready to launch a bigger or larger company, to launch, put it on IPO, all right? Or you are ready to join or to merge with other high growth companies, right? Merging. That can also be a good sign. But here you see the discussion is about in the past 12 months, they had sold, shut down, discontinued, or quit. So the message seems to be a bit more negative in that manner. All right. Now, if you look at the data, the y-axis tells you about total entrepreneurial startup, right? New startup percentage. The higher percentage means the company experience more new venture, more new enterprise being or joining the marketplace. Exit rate, the x-axis shows that the percentage of companies have to be sold, shut down, or discontinued. So based on this simple diagram or simple figure, you can see that those shaded in beige color are the one with low entrepreneurial rate and low exit rate. What insights can you get? And when you look at the data or the company or the countries listed, Japan, one of the most developed country, Norway, Taiwan, all right, Korea, United Kingdom. Those are companies with many established firms. So maybe because of that, the percentage of new startup is already saturated because there are so many companies that has been established before and they have already graduated from being a startup. They now become large or medium-sized firm. If you look at those outside the beige box, right? We have, for instance, Indonesia, Egypt is there, Oman, Qatar, Mexico, Canada. The percentage of startup is a bit low, and the percentage of exit is also a bit high. So what does it tell? If you look at United States, it's very uniquely positioned in the middle, quite high in terms of startup, and also quite towards the higher extent of exiting rate percentage. And just by looking at this figure, you can tell in terms of, you can derive many conclusions from that. But what I intend to have a more detailed discussion with all of you is this. Now, activity 2, we missed activity 1, never mind, it's okay. Choose a country based on the exit rate of TEA percentage and identify some of the key variables that may appear to be plausible justification for the exit rate. So after the break, this is the instruction, Esra. After the break, for prayers, I want you together in your own group. I will leave it to you on how you want to discuss. How do you want to discuss the answer or conclusion? And please prepare just one slide with answers for this question. Okay, and a simple slide. What are the key variables that you have already identified related to justification as to why companies exit? Now, how did you choose? It's from, sorry, oops. You can choose from this diagram that I shared with you already in your WhatsApp group. From this figure, you pick one country of interest and you have to dwell into some plausible justification as why the percentage of exit rate is as such. You may choose those with high exit rate, or you may want also to choose those with very low exit rate. Here, if you can see, the lowest exit rate would be Romania and Norway. Okay, so pick and choose one country, dwell further into reasons why the percentage of exiting of entrepreneurial venture is as such. Is that clear? Clear, yeah? So, after the break, I will allow you up to, is 20 minutes good for you? We will go for a break at 7:30, 7 o'clock, and I'll reach to 7:30. Would it be okay if we reconvene at 8 o'clock for our discussion? So that you have 30 minutes together with your teammates and also prepare one slide. Okay. So I hope the instruction is clear. If you don't understand the instruction, if you don't understand the instruction, you can always text in the group, yeah? So it's already 7 o'clock now, and I will leave all of you for your short prayer and also a short dinner. You can commence your discussion with your group members anytime between 7:30 to 8 o'clock, and we will see each other at 8 o'clock for the discussion. Okay, clear? Thumbs up if it is clear. Is it clear? Clear, yeah? All right. Thank you so much, and have a good discussion. We will reconvene at 8. Thank you.
All right, I'm really sorry for this problem.
No worries.
Yeah, all right. For my team, we chose Japan to be a representative for this presentation. And I mean, it seems that the reasons and for total early stage entrepreneurial activity in Japan can be summarized as follows. Just a second, please. All right. The first one, I mean, from previous papers that we actually searched for, we found out that the knowledge, skill, and experience played like a significant role in influencing TAE among a potential entrepreneur in Japan. This analysis indicated that knowledge has a larger effect on TAE and Japan compared to other countries. And the second reason was fear of failure. Among knowledgeable respondents in Japan, it seems like 1/3 of them have fear of failure. However, like less knowledgeable respondents in Japan are not exhibit the same fear. And this suggests that there's like correlation between knowledge and fear of failure in Japan, with more knowledge leading to more fear. The third one, it seems to be evaluation of entrepreneurship. It seems like there's a clear difference in evaluation of entrepreneurship between two groups. The first one is like near to TAA, and the second one is far from TAA. But the majority of Japanese respondents fall into the far from TAE. And this indicates that distance from entrepreneurship. That might suggest that there's like a negative evaluation of entrepreneurship among the majority of respondents in Japan. The fourth point that we found out that was a polarized attitude. The minority categorized as like near to TAE exhibit energetic attitudes toward entrepreneurship, while the majority categorized as far from TAE. That might hold, again, negative evaluation of entrepreneurship. And the fifth one, that last one, we found that lack of entrepreneurial knowledge and experience. like a small number of respondents in Japan possess knowledge, skill, and experiences related to entrepreneurship. But however, DAE is high among this group. This suggests that there is a gap between minority with entrepreneurial knowledge and a majority who lack such knowledge and experience. So we can say, like, overall, low TAA in Japan can be attributed to factors such as lack of entrepreneurial knowledge and experiences, fear of failure among knowledgeable individuals, and also like negative evaluation of entrepreneur among the majority of respondents. And we found out, like, for entrepreneurs, Japan is not really that good country to live in. That's all.
Hey, thank you, Mana. I think this is a very interesting insights that you have provided to us, beyond my expectation, basically. Now, let me just reiterate what you mentioned just now in terms of Japan being a country with more knowledge, however, more fear in that manner. I have spoken to 2 or 3 scholars from Doshisha University, Kyoto, and the main reason why they come to Malaysia, to Malaysian University, especially to University Science Malaysia, because we won Entrepreneurial University Award of the Year in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the issue that he brought to me, and they are coming next week to see us again, is that they are surprised to note our level of entrepreneurial attitudes and also entrepreneurial readiness is much higher than those in Japan. Now, based on what he mentioned, he said the knowledge that yes, they have good knowledge about business and whatnot, but in particular, knowledge about venture creation and entrepreneurship is very much lacking. So at least it attests to your findings. And what's next would be, those are interesting findings that go against the current, that is not similar to the rest or to the mainstream of entrepreneurship literature, but you can explore further to see why that is happening in Japan. Thank you to Mana and team members. Very interesting. Yes, Dina, you want to present? Any other groups who want to present?
No, Dina is one of our team members.
Okay,
She's
thank
a
you,
student,
Dina.
but
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. So anybody else want to share their insights so that we can see the variations in terms of the understanding and also discussion on data that we have observed just now? Any more? No one? Any analysis on United States or perhaps Egypt? No? Anyone? Last call? Maybe one more? Agnes, you want to share yours? Agnes and team?
Hello, Prof. Can I
Yes. Yeah,
comment?
Shalmiza. Please go ahead, Shalmiza. You can share your slides.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see very clearly.
Okay. So our team has choose Norway. Okay, because from the chart there we can see Norway is actually in this area, the beach area. So Norway has a very low percentage in exiting rate. Okay, so that's why we choose. Why Norway has a lower exit rate for the entrepreneur? Okay, number one is it has the economic stability, which is it reduce the financial risk and associated with the entrepreneurship. And the second one is they have a good social support system. The country has a well-established social support system, including the healthcare, education, and also unemployment benefit. This safety net reduce personal risk for the entrepreneur and encourage them to pursue their venture without fear of severe consequences. And then next one is their cultural factor, which is Norway has a good culture that value collaboration and also the teamwork. And the collaborative mindset can contribute to the success and resilience of the business. And the next point is they have a startup-friendly government policy, which is their government has implemented a supportive policy for entrepreneurs, including tax incentive, grant, and also easy access to the financing. The next point is their education system is encouraged on the innovation environment. So Norway has placed a strong emphasis on the education of the on and also the innovation, which is the ability of the skilled workforce and also the culture that values the continuous learning contribute to the success of the entrepreneurial ventures. The next point is the resource abundance. Norway has a benefit from the abundant natural resources, particularly in the energy sector. This resource wealth can provide stability to the economy and create opportunity for business in the various sectors. And the last point is they have access to the various funding source, which is Norway has provided, including their government grants, venture capital, and also the angel investors. Sufficient funding option can support business during challenging times, reducing the need for the exit. So this is the point that we found for the Norway, why they have the lower exit rate.
Okay, thank you. Very nice observation. While Norway has low exit rate, they also have low startup, yeah? Did you notice that? Low,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, now there are some variations in terms of the findings for Norway. If you look at 2018 or 2019, that time, there's issue of difficulty to get access to financial support even though they are stable. There's some issue in regards to that. I'm not so sure whether the data now has been has shown some improvement in that sense. Now, what you mentioned about the culture, economic stability, good social support are very true. You see, sometimes when people venture into entrepreneurship, it is because of push factor, because of survival, because of the need to get the necessity and also to survive for the family. And that's the reason why sometimes entrepreneurs or people venture into entrepreneurship. Now, when the environment is a bit stable and when the social support is strong, there's lack of push factor that you can observe. Perhaps that's the reason why there's low startup rate as well. And if there's low startup rate, and obviously failure will also be low in that manner, yeah. So you can see it from both angle. And in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, Norway is ranked 30 in terms of ease of doing business because of the policy, the flexible policy offered and the friendly government policy provided by the government. Okay, so the system can be dynamic. So what you can see, what is important for you when you analyze the data is to look at the trend. Okay, to look at the trend and the changes and what are the critical incident that might has caused the drop in the percentage, or what could be the factor that that shows or that leads to sharp ascending trend, for instance. So one-time cross-sectional factor may not give you good insights. That's how we see it when it comes to Norway. So good observation. Thank you, Salmiza and team. Maybe one last one, if anyone wants to share in a different country. Yes, anyone? Last one before we move on to the next slides. Countries other than Japan and Norway. Anyone want to volunteer? None? Calling once, calling twice. No more volunteers. Okay, so it's okay. For those who yes, you want to share?
Yes, I can share.
Yes, Avira, thank
This
you
one
so
is
much.
from my group. This is a group project. So yeah, I'm
Yes, please.
sharing behalf of my group. Okay.
Okay, sure. Thank you so
So
much.
yeah, one moment. draft. Um,
Sure.
wait, I click share, but not sure does it display or not.
Yeah, it's coming. Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
It's now. Morocco, very interesting. Go ahead.
Yes, so we made the discussion regarding the T rate for the Morocco and the exit rate for it. When checked based on the graph that was provided, so Morocco have very low T rate, but at the same time they also have lowest quite low exit rate on this. So when we look into the graph that we compare with the global average, what made Morocco have more advantage or disadvantage that caused the T rate to be low and exit rate to be low. One of it that we found is like the low T rate that happened is because when we compare to the global average, we found out that the skill development for them in this spider chart. Wait now, one moment. Skill development, yeah, the entrepreneurial education the school taste is quite low when we compare with the global average. So this is the one of the main reason that we can make a justify why they are having a T rate low on this. But the main reason, but for the opposite one, why the exit rate is low as well. When we look into the comparison with the global average, the point that shine out the most is the entrepreneurial finance, which you can see that compared to the global average that we gain, the Morocco is having about 4, which is almost or nearly considered as highly sufficient. So from this, when we have the high entrepreneurial finance, we can lead more to the ability to attract more talents to contribute to this entrepreneurship. And at the same time, we also manage to retain the talent who are doing the thing great, which cause that one they start up, it will be difficult for them to, it's not difficult, it's like they have the chance to pursue on that way. So it will how not that well for them to consider to exit or something that I would say based on the Morocco discussion or review. Yeah, so this is sharing from my team.
Oh,
Any
thank you
question,
very much.
Professor? Because
Thank you.
we have limited like quite time, so there is
Yeah.
many point that we did not discuss. But yeah, you can ask the question based on the spider web that we put on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I think, Aviru, this is good observation as well. Thank you so much. We have prepared it nicely. And you are very right when you mentioned about talent, right? In one of the study being conducted on Moroccan entrepreneurship agenda, the main challenge is not about the ecosystem. They are very innovative. They always have open dialogue with the government. And government are very much into creating entrepreneurship agenda to boost the economy of the country. There's one pertinent issue that has been discussed quite widely in the literature, which is what you have mentioned just now, the talent. All right. The issue of Morocco to push for entrepreneurship agenda is because of the lack of talent. Right. So if you look at the radar chart, the spider web, entrepreneurial education at school level is very, very low. So which means the training to have the right entrepreneurial mindset from young is basically unavailable, very lacking. So when you move into a post-school or university level, it may take a bit of time to push for entrepreneurship agenda. So that's why if you look at Malaysian blueprint for education system, yeah, from the primary school, they have already prepared a special blueprint on how we can push for entrepreneurship agenda. Now we learned the same lesson like what Morocco experienced before, because years back Malaysia did not focus much on entrepreneurship at the primary school level or earlier age of the children. Yeah. So thank you. And okay, now you have got very good observation. The three groups have given us a very good insights into entrepreneurship agenda. in each country, like Morocco, Japan, and also what you call Norway, right? So what's next? If you want to provide better understanding, or if you want to help strategize, this is when you need to bring in element of creativity, right? Creativity sets in when you have obtained all the right data and turn it into insights. You now have to apply your creativity, creative mindset to help formulate strategies. So perhaps if you can see clearly from the data of Morocco, you can say that one thing you can do if for quick win, you can collaborate with maybe the industry, or you can collaborate with certain selected agency to provide intensive training for entrepreneurship agenda. That's quick win if you want to sort the matter quickly. Or you can get help from global talent to come and also push for entrepreneurship agenda in the country. Now, you can also plan for midterm plan or long-term plan, where you start preparing, formulate policy or blueprint on how the government can embed entrepreneurship curriculum and education in education system as early as primary school, or age 6 or 7 years old. Right, so that is the main reason why we have insight, so that we are able to come up with strategy and to formulate the right decisions to move forward. Okay, so moving on, I think I will share what we have left. Okay, we have covered that. Thank you so much for the presentation, and these are just a summary of what we have discussed earlier on in regards also to the digital adoption, yeah, why entrepreneurship agenda also involve digital adoption and digital technologies, especially when you want to talk about disruptive innovation. So we'll discuss on that. I think we have also covered this before. I couldn't remember if I have shown you this, but these are all the criteria that is required for one to possess entrepreneurial mindset. So you can read through the slides that I've shared with you to check on your score as well. So at the end of the day, the whole idea is to tell you that anyone can have entrepreneurial mindset. And what entrepreneurial mindset entails? Entrepreneurial mindset talks about three things. Number one, recognizing opportunities. Now, with just recognizing opportunities, one cannot fulfill the whole concept of entrepreneurial mindset, because if you're talking about opportunities, right, everybody see or recognize opportunity every day. Okay, for instance, you recognize opportunity based on the problem that you are facing. So if you ask me what is the problem that I want to solve now, I want to solve the problem of having to what is the thing that I forgot to what is that I have just now? Oh yeah, the problem of having to fold clothes and keep in the wardrobe. I mean, simplest problem, right? So we have washing machine, we have dryer, settle. Now, when when I finish with the dryer, who is going to fold the clothes, right? Or should I just leave it in the laundry room because it takes time to fold the clothes? So then, with that problem that I'm facing, there's one opportunity that I recognize. I recognize that it would be so good if we have folding machine. And guess what? We do have folding machine. It is just that it is not as sophisticated as what we have imagined, right? If you Google for folding machine, you'll see there are a lot of models and type of folding machine, but they are not quite handy in the sense that it doesn't suit certain kind of garment and whatnot. So I see the opportunity, I recognize the opportunity, but do I seize the opportunity and venture into that business trying to solve the problem that not just me, I suppose, any other woman would have that problem too? No, I didn't. So I did not complete the second element of entrepreneurial mindset, which is seizing opportunity or taking chance to transmute that opportunity into profitable outcome. Now, next one, if say for instance, you saw the opportunity, you seized the opportunity, you take the challenge, you venture into the production of whatever innovation that can solve your problem. The next question that you have to answer is your product or your innovation create value, right? Now, what is value creation? What is creating value? Creating value talks about the perception of the receiver. You know, if I'm the consumer and I see the innovation that you have come out and introduced into the market, and if I think that the innovation will not help me to solve the problem that I'm facing, then it's good. You have innovation, you seize opportunity, you turn into something that it is innovative, but unfortunately, it's not so interesting enough that it doesn't entice the market. It doesn't entice the consumers, right? So for entrepreneurs, they have to be cautious of coming out with new innovation of product or services. And always we talk about not from A to Z. For entrepreneurs, it should be from Z to A. Reverse engineer should come from the consumers first. The consumer will need to tell what are the things that they expect from your product or your kind of services. Okay, so that's on entrepreneurial mindset. Now, I would also like to share the experience of Apple, how they try to entice consumers or customers to purchase their product. Yeah, how they sell the brand. Yeah, so let's listen to this.
If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done. That's how most sales is done. And that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do. We say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me.
Okay, so the message is very clear. If you notice the difference, it may look very trivial in terms of its difference. Same messages, but the sequencing of the message is different. What Apple highlight in the video just now is first the value. Okay, so value comes first. Why? What are the things that they believe in when they start developing their product? So I believe, or Apple believe in challenging the status quo, coming out, think differently. They believe in innovation. They believe in adding great value to the consumers. And because of that belief, they come out with a grand product or excellent product that may entice the market. So do you want to try? The sequencing of the storyline is different. Okay, it goes from the value to persuading you to purchase one. It's not, I don't just want to sell the product. I'm telling you the value of the product. Yeah. So
if Apple,
sorry, I move quickly. This is just recapping what we have covered earlier on and the importance of growth mindset. Let me just fix my battery first. Okay. Is it on yet? I'm safe. So when you talk about entrepreneurial mindset or thinking entrepreneurially, we are talking about growth mindset here. And it also implies to the ability to make the right decision and ability to want to learn new things, right? So what are the benefits of growth mindset? If you look at the items under growth mindset, the items, basically, if you ask yourself, right, self-check. I can learn anything I want to. If it's yes, then you have growth mindset. When I'm frustrated, I persevere. You bounce back. Yes, you may be frustrated for a while, but you bounce back. That's growth mindset. You always want to challenge yourself, and you don't mind failing because it is a platform for you to learn and also to come back better and also stronger. Tell me I try hard. Okay, so if you want, if somebody tells you you want to do this and can you do this, you will try and make sure that you succeed in the attempt or the task. If you succeed, I'm inspired. So which means if you look at others who are successful in their life or in their career, you are inspired by them. You are not threatened by them. And my effort and attitude determine everything. So you believe in your internal locus of control. You believe whatever happened to you, it's your own doing. You can change your fate. You can put in effort to change your life. So everything goes back to your willingness or your willpower to change. Of course, there are instances outside that may hit you, but it is always for those with growth mindset, they always come back to themselves and think of how else can I do better, in facing all these challenges. So those are things that has been discussed in regards to growth mindset and is very much related to what entrepreneurs have with them. Now, when you talk about entrepreneurship, you cannot avoid talking about social impact as well. I think this goes without saying. And the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor also reported some findings in regards to companies or a new venture that embed element of social implications and also environmental implications to when they start doing their business. So what's the difference between social enterprises and traditional charity, or social enterprises and traditional business? The only demarcation is that social enterprises, the objective is to solve social issue. Social mission is their objective. But the behavior of the enterprise is similar to any other profit organization. It's the intention that is different. The intention, once they generate income or once they have created financial value, they give back to the society. Okay. Whereas traditional charity, it is just meant for social value. There's no business model, a proper business model as in traditional businesses, or there's no what do you call that? The behavior does not resemble any form of enterprises. So it is more of a just getting funding and give back without any business intervention. Okay. And some of the examples, this is the popular one. That's why I put it here, Grameen Bank. You know for sure, Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, how it solved a lot of problem in regards to the bottom of the pyramid. And Yunus, Professor Yunus, who introduced social entrepreneurship in Bangladesh, has been awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 2006 because of his initiative to solve what? To solve poor rural people who have no access to credit and empower them to start their own business by the group-based credit approach, especially given to women entrepreneurs. Yeah. And in Malaysia, we have Teach for Malaysia. This is for those who are familiar with Teach for Malaysia. The issue that they want to solve is in regards to the quality of education. And they came to USM several times to collaborate with us. And the agenda is mainly to help students to master STEM. Yeah, STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And they also work in terms of digitalization agenda for for kids, yeah, for school children with to access to digital infrastructure and infrastructure. Okay, now moving on, a bit on innovation. I've touched a bit on innovation. So basically, innovation talks about creating something new. So when we talk about creating something new, you have to remember there are two ways in which we can look at it, or three ways. Yeah. Number one is creating totally new value. Okay, when we talk about creating new value, we are talking about venturing into radical innovation. Okay, introducing something that has never existed before, that creates value or solve problem, or to fill in the gap in the market given the changes in the trend. Now, if you talk about new value, that's radical, better value or more value, better value, more value. We normally talks about incremental innovation, right? Improvisation of the existing product to give more value to the customers, maybe in terms of enhancing the quality, or maybe in terms of adding new interesting features to the products or the services provided to the market. Right? Yeah. So this is the one that I've mentioned. There's three things about strategic value, because the ultimate aim for entrepreneurship or innovation agenda is always value creation, right? So what kind of value are we talking about? Value that's new, value that is more than before, or better than before. Okay, if it is new, then most difficult approach, entirely new in the industry or in the marketplace. More and better, we are talking about improving the process or enhancing the quality or adding new features to the existing product. Yeah. So more examples here in regards to, now the latest global innovation index has been published, right? 2023. These are the rank of all of the most innovative countries in the world, which goes to Switzerland, and obviously Sweden, United States, United Kingdom, Singapore, Finland, Netherlands, and Germany. So if you look at, there are also indication of innovation, 3 innovative economies based on region, and top 3 innovation economies based on income group. So you see there, upper middle income group, Malaysian rank Malaysia increased a little bit as compared to last year. So there are some parameters that has been used to check innovative index, and one of the discussion that has been incorporated in this innovation index is also the emergence of unicorn companies. Okay, I believe most of you have come across the term unicorn. Sorry, let me check with you. Okay, none. Right? Many of you may have heard of unicorn companies and or unicorn startup. Basically, what it means is just startup, new company, right? Value over 1 billion US. Okay, so it's new. Now, when we talk about new startup, it's always within 5 years period of time. And within that 5 years period of time, they manage to already generate value at over US 1 billion. Then this term is coined by Eileen Lee in 2013 because unicorn is something or a phenomenon that is very rare and mystical and magical. So this is to analogize the kind of company that suddenly exists and boom in the industry within a very short period of time. So if you look at the quadrant in terms of unicorn valuation based on country, Malaysia, Egypt, Nigeria, Mexico, Indonesia falls within the same quadrant, which is not that high in terms of valuation, and also based on GDP per capita. Yeah, and the country that scored quite high is United Kingdom, the quadrant up there, Germany, France, Israel, Australia, and Canada. Now, what are the examples of unicorn companies? If you wonder, what are the unicorn companies exist? I'm sure all of you or many of you knows SpaceX, yeah, SpaceX or ByteDance or Shein, the garment company, retail garment company, and Canva. All right, Canva. I think all of you have tried Canva before. It's also a unicorn company, all right, ranked quite highly in the world, yeah. And next is OpenAI. Yeah, OpenAI is coming very fast. Many of us use OpenAI now. ChatGPT, the way they introduce the business model is very interesting. Freemium, free for start. And then if you want premium, you have to subscribe. So that grows very, very fast. JNT, for those who love online shopping, will be familiar with JNT. What else? Grammarly. Grammarly, for those who are doing research work, Grammarly is one of the application to help you check your grammatical errors and whatnot. So some of the unicorn are quite familiar to us. Now, what makes unicorn a unicorn, right? Why this company suddenly appears strong in the market and generate a lot of income? Number one, they leverage on technology. So we know that in the era that we are living now, technology is one of the factor that helps many companies to grow and accelerate at a very rapid rate, yeah, grow at a rapid rate. And this is why companies that leverage on automation, cloud computing, and analytics generate a lot of income and can what do you call that, grow very fast. Disruptive, one type of innovation which is disruptive, bring innovative products to the market and affordable. Now, what's the difference between disruptive innovation and radical innovation? There's very fine line between both, yeah. Now, disruptive is introducing something that's new, right? Very innovative, but at a very affordable rate where customers or the mass can afford. Now, radical innovation, most of the time, are also innovative product or services, but they are less affordable. The first example that I can share with you is in terms of space tourism. If you know, or there's a big hoo-ha last year where they call it the space race, right? Where Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Richard Branson try to introduce space tourism concept, and they develop space and also they develop some kind of rocket, if I'm not mistaken, try to penetrate an industry that has never been explored before. Tourism to the space. Okay, it's very innovative, and they launched a service. Most of the three of them launched a service, but why is it still not booming? Because those kind of service are the services that is considered as highly unaffordable, right? Expensive. So that's the reason why disruptive is different from radical. Even though both are innovative, but in terms of affordability, disruptive is better. And that's why many companies that turn into unicorns are the ones that venture into disruptive strategy. Consumer focus, okay? Remember, we talk about value first, creation of value, which means we focus on solving the consumer's problem first before we start thinking of what product or service that we want to introduce to market. Efficiency in terms of the product being tested and also ensured of durability. Growth driven, okay? The mission is to grow and plan to upscale the company. Yeah. So you can read more on unicorns in www ranking royals and .com. They are very interesting examples as in Canva. Okay, so if you have time, you just Google Melanie Perkins, listen to the CEO speech. I admire the way she explained how and why she suddenly wanted to introduce Canva. It is actually meant for personal use to come up with a template to do very interesting selling and also presentation, and eventually it becomes a product or a services that sells very very well in the market. And I myself subscribe to Canva because it helps me to prepare documentation, paperwork, strategic plan, and also business proposal. And these are repeating what I've just mentioned, and also examples of the demarcation between disruptive and radical, and also incremental, slow growth, and just sustaining innovation that use very minimum level of technology simply to sustain in the business, right? And I think I will just stop up to that point. If you have any questions in regards to what we have discussed, this is a basic business model canvas that talks about value again. So the ultimate aim, as I mentioned just now, is value. We talk about new value, better value, more value, but here it shows how the value is being delivered, how the value is being captured, what are the proposition that you can sell to the market to highlight the value of your product, and also how are you going to create the value. Okay, so all these components are integrated in what we call business model canvas to share to the possibly to the internal stakeholders, mainly to advise on the A to Z of the business. You know who you're going to deliver the value for, what kind of value that you promise to the customers, and who will help you to create value, and how are you going to create value, and also ultimately, how are you going to capture this value for your company. All right. Okay. I will not go through this. This is just the rest are all examples of innovation. You know what kind of innovation you can do. There are so many ways you can do innovation. Number one, you can just do intangible based on experience. You know, your service, your channel of distribution, based on digital, make life easy to the consumers. Your strong brand and how you engage to your customers are the experience that can also be considered as innovation, right? Creating value through intangible means, right? Or the hardcore product itself, your offering, the performance, and the system that comes together with the product, or even the process. Configuration is about the process, right? How you generate income, is your model interesting? What Canva did, very interesting, because first, if you want to use, you can use it for free. There's a template given, no matter how long you want to use it. Yes, but it's limited. No, over time, I used the free version quite, I think 2 years back, and I noticed that after a while, I got bored looking at the same template. So I have to subscribe to Canva, very affordable price. For a year, I have to pay about 264 ringgit Malaysia. 1 year. You can use how many times? All the templates are very interesting. So those are the business model or the profit model, innovation in the profit model, yeah. And a network, who you create network with, the structure, how are you going to align your talent and also your asset to produce your product, or even the process, how you improvise the process, innovate in terms of the process to make it, to create more value to the customers, yeah, make it more efficient, enhance the quality and whatnot. Okay, so I'll stop up to that point. If you have any questions, you can. Is there any questions here? Have anything important? Yes. Next week. Oh, okay, yes. Next week. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, next week I'm going to share video. Yeah, I'm going to record a video because I need to travel again to the East Coast of Malaysia for another meeting. So I'll prepare video and post it on e-learning. And the most important thing is I need to remind you of our midterm, right? Now, our midterm exam is going to be after semester break, which is week 9, which falls on the 14, right? 14 December? Is it 14 December? Let me check. Week 9 is, yeah, 14 December. 14 December, Thursday, same time. Same time, e-learning platform, yeah? So I'll post the questions on e-learning platform. And those would be the short essay questions covering all the topics that we have covered until today. All right. So I'll post again in our WhatsApp group in regards to the details of our midterm. And oh, another thing is the assignment. I received questions in regards to assignment. I am happy to extend it up to week 12 if you need extension. If you have finished and conclude your assignment, I will now create a platform for you to just submit your assignment through e-learning. Oh yeah, it's for 13, yeah? It's not 14. But why did I say it's 14? 13 December, Wednesday. Got all the days mixed up. Yeah, never mind. Don't worry. I'll post it again. Any questions? Yes, Peter? There is any scientific name for the mixed type of innovation because many times we use both of them. What do you mean by mixed type of innovation? Hybrid innovation? Okay.
Yes, Professor. I mean, like the boost type of innovation, you mentioned that like there is one that we create some kind of new product, and the one that we like developed existed one, but sometimes we use the boost method to create something new. So there is any kind of scientific method for mixing
Oh,
both of them?
you mean incremental innovation and radical innovation?
Yes, Professor.
Yeah, incremental innovation and radical innovation.
Okay.
Okay. All right. How long does the midterm duration? The midterm is, to be frank with you, I have not drafted the questions yet, but normally midterm will take about 2 hours as well, depending on the question. So let me fix the questions and get back to you because I need to calculate the learning time to ensure that the number of questions reflect the duration. Yeah. And normally it's 2 hours. Yes, individual presentation will be uploaded on e-learning or online WebEx. Yeah, uploaded on e-learning. Hang on, yeah. Yeah, I'll share on e-learning platform. Any one of you have already prepared your assignment that you want to submit? No, because I received some requests to extend. No? Okay, I'll try to create the platform soon. State analysis method study group project. What do you mean group project? Analysis method. Oh, okay. You mean based on the data that you have gathered, right? Yes, some of you asked if you can include in Power BI analysis or any regression analysis. I'm fine with any. If you want to add value, yes, you can add any analysis method that you would want to. Regarding content, I'll send some question. Okay, sure. Yeah, sure, Peter. You can send and the questions on the WhatsApp. Thank you. I missed one question. Let me check. I think I have one question that I did not answer. Yeah. Just now, short discussion. Do you need? Okay, the short discussion. You don't have to upload on e-learning, but I would appreciate it if you share in our WhatsApp group so that we can take note of the variation in terms of your analysis of the country. Is it fine if you can use non-financial data? Yes, it's okay to use non-financial data as well, as long as we can use 3 different type of variables or data to explain the phenomenon. All right. Okay. So yes, Peter, you just text me, and I will help you to answer the questions. Yeah. Anything else? If not, thank you very much, and I'll see you during midterm. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.